Have you ever wondered when exactly art was born? Let's take a journey back in time, way back to the Paleolithic era. This period, also known as the Stone Age, stretches from over 2.5 million years ago right up to the end of the last ice age, around 12,000 years ago. Now picture this. It's a time when humans are beginning to make tools and weapons from stone. They're just starting to learn how to control fire. They're hunting and gathering, moving with the seasons and the herds, and in between all of that, they're creating art. Yes, that's right, even in those times of survival, our ancestors felt compelled to create. The most remarkable examples we have from this era are the cave paintings. These are not just mere doodles or simple markings. These are sophisticated artworks full of details and colors, showcasing a deep understanding of the world around them. One of the most celebrated sites of these early artistic expressions is the Lascaux Caves in France. Discovered in the mid-20th century, these caves are a treasure trove of Paleolithic art. The walls are adorned with over 600 paintings and 1,500 engravings depicting a variety of subjects from large animals to human figures and abstract signs. But what's the meaning behind these early forms of art? Some theories suggest they were used in rituals or ceremonies, while others propose they were a form of communication or storytelling. There's also the idea that they may have been created simply for aesthetic pleasure, a testament to the human desire to create beauty in the world. The truth is, we may never fully understand the exact reasons why these ancient artists felt the need to express themselves in this way, but one thing is clear. Even in those early days, there was a deep-seated instinct to create, to tell stories, to leave a mark. And that, my friends, is the essence of art. The birth of art, it seems, is as old as humanity itself. Fast forward to the classical era, where Greeks and Romans redefined art. Let's start with the Greeks. They were not just lovers of philosophy and democracy, but also patrons of the arts. Their sculptures, particularly, were a testament to their deep appreciation for the human form. The Greeks sought to capture the essence of physical perfection in their stone carvings. Statues were meticulously crafted to showcase the ideal human physique with every muscle and curve in the right place. This pursuit of perfection was not just about aesthetics, but also a reflection of their belief in the divine nature of humans. And then there were the Romans. They picked up where the Greeks left off, but added their own twist. While the Greeks were all about idealization, the Romans were about realism. They valued authenticity and sought to capture the true likeness of their subjects. Their marble portraits were not just about capturing physical features, but also the personality and character of the person. From the furrowed brows of a stern senator to the soft smile of a revered matron, Roman sculptures told a story about the people they represented. This shift from idealization to realism was not just a change in artistic style, but also a reflection of the societal changes of the time. The Romans were building an empire, and they wanted their art to reflect the reality of their world. This was a world where individuals mattered, where their stories, their triumphs, and their failures were deemed worthy of being immortalized in stone. So you see, the classical era was not just about creating beautiful works of art. It was about using art to capture the spirit of the times, to tell stories, and to immortalize human greatness. The Greeks and Romans may have lived centuries ago, but their influence on art continues to be felt today. Art was no longer just for survival. It had become a way to immortalize human greatness. The Renaissance, a period of rebirth where art took center stage in society. Emerging from the shadow of the Middle Ages, the world was awakened by a new dawn of creativity and innovation, fueled by the rediscovery of classical philosophy, literature, and art. In this era of enlightenment, artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo dared to reach beyond the traditional boundaries of art, exploring not just religion but humanity and the natural world. These men were more than painters. They were inventors, scientists, and philosophers, embodying the ideal of the Renaissance man. Leonardo da Vinci, a man whose name is synonymous with genius, left an indelible mark on the world. His most famous masterpiece, the Mona Lisa, is acclaimed for its intricacy and the mystery of her smile. Beyond his artistic prowess, he was an inventor, creating designs for flying machines, armored vehicles, and even a rudimentary version of the helicopter. His ability to fuse art and science was truly a testament to his genius. Meanwhile, Michelangelo, a sculptor, painter, architect, and poet, was a force to be reckoned with. His most renowned work, The Ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, is a breathtaking testament to the human spirit. It took him 4 long years to complete, lying on his back on a scaffold, painting the intricate scenes from the Book of Genesis. His masterpiece, David, stands as an icon of Renaissance sculpture, embodying the ideals of beauty, strength, and heroic courage. These artists and their contemporaries changed the face of art, infusing it with depth and realism. They breathed life into their subjects, capturing the human soul in paint and marble. They dared to question, to explore, and to innovate, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in art. Through their works, they sought to illuminate the beauty and complexity of the human experience, to mirror the world in all its glory and imperfection. They created not just beautiful images, but windows into the human soul, forever changing how we perceive art and the world around us. Art had become a reflection of human intellect and emotion. The Renaissance was not just a rebirth of art, but a rebirth of the human spirit, a celebration of the limitless potential of the human mind. As we moved into the modern era, art started to break all previous boundaries. The world was changing, and with it, so did art. Modernism, which spanned from the late 19th century to the mid-20th century, was a time of experimentation and innovation. And this was evident in the art world. Artists began to challenge and question the established norms of traditional art. They sought to convey the world as they saw it, not as it was prescribed to be. A prime example of this shift is found in the works of the Impressionists, such as Claude Monet. Monet, with his fellow Impressionists, sought to capture the transient effects of light and color. They painted en plein air or outdoors to directly observe and depict the changing patterns of light and atmosphere. They were less concerned with realistic depiction and more with capturing a moment in time, a fleeting impression. And as we move further into the modern era, we come across the post-impressionists like Vincent van Gogh. Post-impressionism extended impressionism while rejecting its limitations. Artists continued using vivid colors, often thick application of paint and real-life subject matter, but were more inclined to emphasize geometric forms and to use unnatural or arbitrary color. Then the world of art took an even more drastic turn with the advent of abstract art. Artists like Pablo Picasso and Salvador Dali started to explore the realm of the abstract, where the representation of physical objects was secondary to portraying the inner landscape of human emotion and thought. Picasso, with his cubist works, broke objects into geometric shapes and reassembled them in abstract form. Dali, a prominent surrealist, created dreamlike scenes that defied logic and reason. The modern era was a time when art began to push boundaries and question the status quo. It was a time when art became less about depicting the world as it is, and more about expressing the world as it is perceived by the artist. Art had become a personal expression, free from the constraints of realism. In our contemporary world, what is the role of art and artists? Our current era, known as the contemporary period, is a melting pot of artistic expressions. Art has burst out of the confines of hallowed museums and taken to the streets, to the internet, and into the heart of public discourse. From the gritty, rebellious street art to the limitless realm of digital art, contemporary art refuses to be pigeonholed. Let's consider street art, a genre that has become an indelible part of our urban landscape. The elusive Banksy, a pseudonymous England-based street artist, political activist, and film director, has been at the forefront of this movement. His satirical street art and subversive epigrams combine dark humor with graffiti executed in a distinctive stenciling technique. His works of political and social commentary have been featured on streets, walls, and bridges of cities throughout the world. On the other end of the spectrum, we have digital art, an art form that uses digital technology as an essential part of the creative or presentation process. Digital art expands the artist's toolkit, enabling them to manipulate images in ways that were previously unthinkable and reach audiences on a global scale. A shining example of a contemporary digital artist is Ai Weiwei, a Chinese contemporary artist and activist. His work encompasses a wide range of mediums including sculpture, installation, architecture, and digital art. Ai Weiwei's art often delivers biting social commentary and criticism of the Chinese government's stance on democracy and human rights. Both Banksy and Ai Weiwei, despite their wildly different mediums and approaches, share a common thread. They use their art to reflect and critique the society they live in, making their work not just visually captivating, but also deeply meaningful and provocative. Art continues to evolve, reflecting the ever-changing world we live in. Our contemporary world is a testament to this, brimming with diverse artistic expressions that challenge conventions, provoke thought, and inspire change.